out by about half a mark or so on a place on the podium. The finalists in the women's vault competition and the top performer in qualification, Chasha Kiselev of Slovenia, the 30-year-old from Ljubljana, who's been a finalist at European Championship level. She is going in pursuit of a 5th World Cup title and a 25th medal. The men's pommel horse final. Top performer in qualification, Nariman Kurbanov. 4th at the World Championships in 2021 and 2022, but who struggled in Antwerp. He was 16th. This season he has been a World Cup winner. That was in Cottbus. Radomir Stelmach warming up on pommel horse. He was the 4th best in qualifying. He was the runner-up at the European Youth Olympic Festival in 2022 in Slovakia. We begin with the reigning Spanish all-around national champion, Tiano Diallo. He was the 7th best in qualification with 13.5. Competed in this country, in this city, last year at his 5th Senior European Championships. And he won the bronze medal on the parallel bars, the biggest result of his career individually. Let's see what he can do in this pommel horse final. This is work up into handstand. Decent clearance so far with a small amount of bend at the midsection, but not a lot. Fender swings were quite rapid and reasonably well controlled. Magyar to Shivado. A slight overarch just as he went round into that pirouette, but it was well performed as a first display from Tiano Diallo of Spain. What a successful last year it was for him in terms of the milestones he reached. On the women's vault final, underway with Bilge Tarhan. Gymnast from Turkey, who is in as a wild card. Host nation entitled to have representation in one of the finals, and she was the ninth best performer in qualification, so she almost made it in anyway. Come back to her in just a moment. 13.3 for Diallo, so he's down by 2/10 from qualification. Bilge Tarhan opening with full twisting Yurchenko, for which he scored 12.95 in the preliminary round. She was a finalist on vault at the European Championships in Antalya last year. 12.533 being indicated on the scoreboard for that first vault, down by about 4/10 from qualification. The second vault now for Bilge Tarhan. And that was more strongly executed. She scored 12.05 for her second vault in qualification. That was the one that she actually had real issues with. And I think what's interesting there is she went for the handspring front pike half. I believe, based on the difficulty score from qualification, she's only employed the handspring front pike here, which is just a couple of tenths lower in difficulty. So that may well be due to the execution issues that she had with the handspring front pike half. We'll come back to that. Now to Danielle Carrion. Fifth best in qualification. Working quite hard for clearance, and yes, unfortunately just ran out of breathing space there, the 19-year-old from Sevilla. Carrion is based at the Blume Club in Gran Canaria. Now that was the score for Bilge Tarhan's second vault, but we haven't got a sense of her total score. We'll come back to that in due course as we see the conclusion of Danielle Carrion's routine. I was mentioning that he trains at the Blume Club in Gran Canaria. It's named after Joaquim Blume, a wonderful gymnast from Barcelona who died at the age of 25 in a plane crash heading to an exhibition competition in the Canary Islands in 1959. 65 years ago next month. And so his legacy, the great Joachim Blume's legacy, is kept alive by the name of the club in the Canary Islands, also by a competition that takes place in Spain every year. We look back at this performance from Danielle Carrion. Got through the second part of the routine nicely, quite a secure pirouette at the end. That was nicely done by Liao Yichun of Chinese Taipei, full twisting Yurchenko opening vault. She scored 13 for it in qualification, the 16-year-old. 12.25 is the score for Danielle Carrion. the second vault for Liao Yichun. And that's the lesser difficulty vault, the layout Tsukahara, for the 16-year-old who made her debut at the World Championships last year. It's a World Cup debut for her as well. I'm sorry that we're struggling to give you the vault scores. I shall endeavour to get them as soon as I can. Now we go to Mert Kulucer of Turkey, 6th best in qualification. Just 19, this newer member of the national team squad from Ankara province. But he's moving reasonably well. It's not the most fiercely difficult of routines, but the execution quite good. A little break here and there in his leg form. But that is quite well done by Mert Kulucer. He really impressed at the national championships not so long ago, winning a silver medal on the parallel bars. Last year was his first as a senior. And he's at Ege University as an undergraduate, which puts him with virtually the rest of the national team. So he trains alongside them on a daily basis. And that's been great for his development. Meanwhile, that was the first vault from Greta Moya. I apologise that we missed that. She was the second best in qualification as well, so we cannot be missing a performance of the national champion of Hungary, because she's a real contender to get onto the podium. Now to her second vault. And a layout Yurchenko for her, 3.6 difficulty. And from an execution standpoint, that should do well. 12.85 is the score for Mert Kulucer. There's not a lot to deduct there, is there, from an execution standpoint? That's a great way to maximise what you can do with a lower difficulty vault. Now, just to bring you the average scores, 12.383 for Bilge Tahan, and for Liao Yichun, 12.784. Next, we're going to see a 19-year-old from Chinese Taipei, Huang Zuxing. She is from Fujian province, which is not actually on Taiwan island itself, but it's 3 small archipelagos right by the Chinese coast. And she really did have some struggles there with landing stability. That vault scored 12.8 in qualification. Never quite seemed right in the full twisting Yurchenko from the moment that she made contact with the springboard. This is her World Cup debut, her first international final, so it's a great milestone moment for her, and hopefully one that will really bolster her confidence. Huang Zhuxing with one more vault to go. We only saw her once internationally last year. It was at the Asian Championships where she only competed on balance beam. Now she is indicating that she'll do the handspring front pike half, which is what we saw from Bilge Tarhan in the preliminary round. But Tarhan elected just to go for the handspring front pike. And there we do get that 4.0 difficulty vault from Huang Zhuxing. And that was well performed by and large. Nice vault that from the teenager. And congratulations to her on her first international final. Now it was 12.784 for Liao Yichun. That's the leading score so far, but we haven't had confirmation of Greta Moyer's score yet. This now is Radomir Stelmach. Stelmach scored 14.1 in the preliminary round. Got good height. Working, facing the apparatus. Nice attempt to keep the toes pointed in the Wendeschwings. It's purposeful. Can he keep the kineticism going into the dismount? Maybe a slight sense that it lost some of its dynamism, but a lot that was quite successful about that display, as we're now getting ready for the second half of this vault competition with Chasha Kiselev, the one to watch. 12.9 for Greta Moyer. I believe that is the average score, but it's not entirely clear. Yes, I can confirm that that is the case. So 13.1 for the first vault and 12.7 for the second vault for Greta Moyer. So she leads. And we have got the 48-year-old Oksana Chusovitna, who was the third best in qualification to come. I don't think there's much doubt the favourite is Chasha Kiselev. Kiselev has got a fair old difficulty cushion based on what we saw in qualification. And just to remind you that it is a 9-strong women's vault final. 12.134 is the average score for Huang Zhuxing, and that has her in 4th position. Young Mateo Zhugets will be the 6th to go on the men's pommel horse. Reigning Mediterranean Games champion from one of the world's great pommel horse nations, of course, in Croatia. But now to a Slovenian, Chasha Kiselev. Kiselev, who made the European Championship final in 2021. Warm-ups will take a little longer for vault, not least because we've got that extra competitor. And we will finish with a gymnast for whom Turkey is a rather special place. We'll come back to that later because it's a 14 for Stelmach, and he has gone into the gold medal position at the halfway stage. But just a little more on Ahmad Abu Al-Soud. He's risen to be one of the finest pommel horse gymnasts in the world. And what he has done all started at the World Challenge Cups in Turkey. The first time we really started to see him on the podium internationally, going back almost a decade now, was in this country. To Kazakhstan's Inola Idrisov, fifth to go in the men's pommel horse final. Back to the scene of his bronze medal at the Junior World Championships last year. A little bit of an issue early on. But it was in this building that he placed in the top three of the world's junior gymnasts, to mark him out as one to watch in the next generation. He's developing nicely. A first ever senior international final for Zenola Idrisov. He was also the joint World Schools champion in 2022. Now to a veteran vaulter and somebody who is favoured to win this title. Slovenia's Čaša Kiselev. Well, she does manage to land that 1.5 twisting Yurchenko vault well. The form in the air perhaps had a lack of clarity. Yes, a slight lack of precision in that vault, which scored 13.5 in qualification. Second vault for Kiselev. And that is stronger. 13.05 in qualification. Is it going to be sufficient to take her ahead of Greta Moyer? So the handspring front tuck full for the second vault for Čaša Kiselev. We'll update you on the score for Zenola Idrisov in due course as well. Mateo Zhugets of Croatia, the 8th best in qualification, the reigning Mediterranean Games champion. 13.5 was his qualification score. He's giving away a little here and there with some of the leg issues. but he's moving powerfully through his Wendeschwings. He's got that nice straight body position back for the Magyar-Shivado combination, which is great. Oh, he just clipped the apparatus. What a shame. Seemed to be motoring his way through to the end. Now Zenola Idrisov scores 14. This on the back of that bronze medal that he won in his first senior international final in Cairo. Could well be a second medal of the season for Zenola Idrisov. And Zhugets completes his performance. What an unfortunate moment that was for him. Now to Oksana Chusovitna. Third best in qualification. The absolute veteran vaulter. Oh, she started well. She started very well. The gymnast who won the junior national title in the Soviet Union in 1988. That gives you some sense of the extraordinary longevity. And the world champion on vault 21 years ago. We go back to Kiselev, 13.017, so she does go into the lead. Just ahead of Greta Moya on 12.9, but there's a real chance for Chusovitna to factor into the equation to be part of the podium. She was the overall World Cup vault champion last season. And the second vault, the handspring front pike half from Oksana Chusovitna. Quite a pike landing, needing that stability, waving of the arms just to hold her position as best she could. 12.4 for Mateo Zhugets. Now we are at Nariman Kurbanov, the favourite to win this after he scored a remarkable 15.6 in qualification. Keeping his body nice and straight. Oh, it's very smooth. His clearance is good too. Had a tiny flicker of leg separation, but not a great deal. Nariman Kurbanov performs that securely enough, surely, to go comfortably into a leading position. 14 is the top score so far. That's his own teammate, Idrisov. Nice gesture of respect from Oksana Chusovitna. Did well to hold that landing on the full twisting. Yurchenko Shadapeta looked a touch compressed as she came to ground. The 21-year-old from Budapest who won the bronze medal at the European Games in 2019. Just wondered if she was walking a touch gingerly there for a moment. 12.917 for Oksana Chusevitna. She's in second place. Didn't quite have the execution of that second vault to go ahead of Kiselev after starting with the full twisting layout Tsukahara. Now to the last gentleman in this pommel horse final. We're waiting on the score for Nariman Kurbanov to give an idea of what Ahmad Dabo Al Saud has got to do. We'll come back to that in due course. Here is the second vault for Sarapeta. She also employs the handspring front pike half. Well, she's performed those two vaults well, Sarapeta. Could contend. 14.85 for Kurbanov. Down quite a bit from qualification. It was always going to be very difficult to meet that mark. But does it give this gentleman a chance? Because he scored 14.9. Oh, he had some leg separation there. 14.9 in qualification. He does pirouette well to conclude the routine. Ahmad Dabo Al Saud, he's certainly going to be up there in terms of the quest for a medal. Whether it will be sufficient to catch Kurbanov is less clear, or less certain, I should say. Now to Ruby Stacey of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. She starts with a nice looking full twisting Yurchenko. That had good flight, secure execution. The 19-year-old from Tavistock in the west of Devon, in the south west of Great Britain. She celebrated winning the vault title at the Rushmore Rose Bowl in Aldershot last year, a very historic and much loved competition in the British calendar. Now the second vault coming for Ruby Stacey, and she does well to stabilise a slightly unaligned landing. She was coming down a little backwards and held it well. Good gymnastics from Ruby Stacey, as Sarapeta has 12.717. So that places her fifth. It's a very tight final, actually. Really just a matter of a step here and there on landing, separating the top 4 or 5 gymnasts. He has just done it. 14.9, Ahmad Dabo Al Saud. He's beaten Kurbanov. And in this very special place for him in Turkey, where his journey to becoming one of the world's finest began, he's come back to take a little gold medal as a reward. Well done to him. Morgan Osisek, the last gymnast to go. 5th best in qualification with 13. But if she produces that sort of display here, she will come second. We've seen a few layout Tsukahara falls so far today. for Ruby Stacey, whose second vault was a handspring front tuck. She scores 12.6 and is in 6th place. 3.6 difficulty for vault number 2, just dropping her down by comparison to some of the others, but the quality of the vaulting was secure. Layout Yurchenko being indicated, and being performed by Morgane Ossisek of France. She won a bronze medal at the World Challenge Cup in Israel last year. So that layout Yurchenko is at a 3.6 difficulty. That is as she performed in the preliminary round. The lights are out, the score's not yet in. We have still got some gymnasts there, I promise you. Well, we'll be in a position in just a moment to confirm the classified results for you. It's 12.9 for Morgane Ossisek, which puts her into the bronze medal position. Just 1/10 down from qualification, but good enough to earn a place on the podium. Well, we now move on to the women's uneven bars and the men's rings. We'll start with Rebeca Andrade of Brazil, second best in qualification. Melanie de Jesus dos Santos, third best in qualification, the French gymnast. Then Georgia May Fenton of Great Britain, followed by Caitlin Rooskrantz of South Africa, Lohane Oliveira of Brazil, Yang Fanyue of the People's Republic of China, top qualifier, making her senior international debut. Same for Zhao Jiayi, her teammate, who was the fourth best in qualifying, and Lucia Hribar of Slovenia, the seventh best in qualification and the qualifier for the Olympiad. Now to the men's rings. We'll start with Zilad Zaveri of Hungary, then Adam Asil of Turkey, the world champion from 2022. Artur Sahakian of Germany, Jogos Suarez of Brazil, Ibrahim Cholak, the 2019 world champion from Turkey, Balázs Kiss of Hungary, European Championship medalist, Vladimir Kostyuk of Ukraine. Then we'll have Nestor Abad of Spain, the fourth best in qualification, and a Youth Olympic Games medalist on rings in Singapore in 2010. We are just waiting for those classified results for the men's pommel horse and women's vault competitions. These are the finalists in the men's rings event, and Adam Asil and Ibrahim Cholak, the top two in qualification. Both of them have been world champions. Both of them representing the host nation, who will be expecting to hear their anthem played after this rings final. The uneven bars competition, top performer in the preliminary round, a virtually unknown athlete from the People's Republic of China, Yang Fanyue. She scored 14.8. Her only domestic honours, an under-15 bronze medal in 2020. Her development over the last couple of years from a score perspective has been absolutely stellar. The classified results in the women's vault competition: Greta Moya finishing in third place to take the bronze medal. Oksana Chusevitna winning the silver. Chasha Kiselev of Slovenia winning the gold medal. That is her 25th World Cup medal, her 5th gold. And we'll just confirm the final standings when we can there, because Morgana Osisak was given as joint third place a moment ago. In the men's pommel horse competition, Ahmad Abu Al Saud wins the gold medal. Nariman Kurbanov takes silver by 500ths. And Radomir Stelmach of Ukraine is the bronze medalist ahead of Zenola Idrisov of Kazakhstan. Now we move to the victory ceremony for the women's uneven bars competition. That is not Greta Moya of Hungary. Georgia May Fenton of Great Britain, the winner of the bronze medal. Joined by Rebeca Andrade of Brazil, silver medalist. And the champion is Melanie de Jesus dos Santos of France. The 6th time that she has been a World Cup champion. The gymnast who was part of that extraordinary French medal winning team at the last World Championships. The champion, Melanie de Jesus dos Santos of France. She wins the uneven bars title in Antalya at the World Challenge Cup and will now have the national anthem of France. the medalists in the women's uneven bars competition in Antalya. On we go with the celebrations. We have 3 more victory ceremonies to bring you. It's now time for the victory ceremony for the men's pommel horse competition at the FIG World Challenge Cup of Artistic Gymnastics in Antalya, Turkey. The winner of the bronze medal, Radomir Stelmach of Ukraine. He was part of the junior team that won the gold medal at the European Championships in Turkey in 2020. Now as an 18-year-old, he is on a World Cup podium for the first time. Silver going to Nariman Kurbanov of Kazakhstan. 14.85. It made for a very close finish to this pommel horse competition. The reigning champion of Asia and the man who's twice finished 4th at the World Championships. And the man who has finished in first place is the man who built up a track record of international success from World Cup events in Turkey, taking him all the way to 2 World Championship medals to become an absolute great. The jaw-dropping Jordanian Ahmad Abu Al-Soud has won the gold medal and will hear his national anthem. As-Salam al-Malaki al-Urduni, the royal anthem of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, played in honour of Ahmad Abu Al-Soud and his fellow medalists in the men's pommel horse competition. It was written by Abdel Munim al-Rifai and Abdul al-Qadir al